Hi, welcome. It's time for a campaign update, and this is the state of my campaign part 1. I am Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, a presidential candidate for the 2028 presidential election, but also a candidate from the 2020 and 2024 presidential elections. And I have not actually conceded the 2024 presidential election because there is so much fraud in the election process. I am not sure if Donald Trump is the official, non-corrupted presidential candidate that should be in office. Not that I have a problem with some of the things that he's doing, because I don't. It is just we have to start somewhere. And there is so much corruption in the election process in the USA. It cannot go on. We technically don't have a country. And so far, he is one, too, who also believes in truth and ethics. And what we have is not ethical. So I found out today that some states, so I should say, let me backtrack. Because of all the fraud and manipulation and cheating in our election process in the USA currently, especially with this thing called registering to vote and the names on it, especially with the fake names and everything else, I heard that in the state's constitutions, I don't know if it's all of them or in some, but in a major one, New York State, apparently the election can only be worked on by people in a party. And apparently in their constitution it says that it's the top 2 parties get to participate in running the election. So I've been telling everybody to sign up and help out at their elections when there are ones, but it turns out that maybe, you should try and let me know if you are not able to. But the concept is that every citizen has a right to help out. And if they turn you away because you're not a Democrat or a Republican, this is obscene. This is then exactly how they're manipulating the system. They're only letting Democrats and Republicans work on the elections. This is unheard of. I hope I misunderstood something. I haven't really had time to look it up officially, so I am going with just what somebody told me today. But it's clear. They have written every law to manipulate things so that they stay in power and no other parties can come in. And it's clear who's in charge of the fraud and corruption. It can only be the 2 big parties because they're the only ones who've ever been running the elections. And this news came out of somebody who knows the New York State Constitution. So this is New York State. So Supreme Court, it's clear who's doing the corruption. It's no longer a mystery whatsoever. It is the Democrats and the Republicans. Period. And they're working together. They like to pretend that they don't work together, but they're working together. So you need to act on my lawsuit. But with that said, too, I want to say that I believe this week is like the final week. Of course, it's the snowstorm week. But I will try to sign up for some job in the government, and certainly one that people have to vote for me on. I have to now look, but I'm pretty sure the documents say that you have to be registered to vote, and as most of you know, I am not registered to vote because there's fraud with that list. There's no checks and balance on it, and it has to stop. So they, in my opinion, have no right to use that list, which has been proven by 24 states that there are fraudulent names on it. So it is not an accurate anything. And then, I mean, if we saw the fake names on the Social Security list, which is an official document, which does get checked, imagine how many fake names are on the registering to vote list. So for a state to say you have to be registered to vote to be a candidate in your state for any office is also fraudulent on so many levels, because it doesn't prove anything if I'm registered to vote. It doesn't prove I am me. It doesn't prove that I am a U.S. citizen. It doesn't prove anything. It proves that, I don't know. I mean, and as you know, when I was driving around for the last 2 elections around the USA, there were places I could have registered all along. I mean, I could have been registered in multiple states. And by accident, as you also know, which I've told you, it happened anyways by accident because I tried to get off the list in New York State and New York City, and I tried to change my information there also the first time around. Then I eventually moved to West Virginia, so I had to change states. And I told them to take me off the list, and they didn't do it. And then I finally found out that they didn't do it, and that if you don't do it in a certain proper way, they don't take your name off. So, I mean, I don't know, folks. I don't know, Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court. It's not brain surgery. You know, and I know, that there is extreme corruption in the election system in the USA, and it's got to stop. I have nothing against a lot of people. There are a lot of good people in office, but we just do not have a country if we don't have a proper election, and we're going into another election cycle. I mean, I've been saying this since 2022, and is now 26. It's time. It's time. You've had your time. You know I'm saying things that are correct. It's all in the lawsuit that you have from me, and now act on it. So, the other thing that I'm now working on, but I'm with his new, let me backtrack still to the election stuff. So I will apply. I guess they will reject it, and then I will do a lawsuit. So that will be coming up. Then, with that said, I'm working on the mother's pay concept, and that's coming along nicely. I've made a list of people I want to maybe get involved in it. So I'm now moving forward. So this is exciting. I've been trying to hash out in my brain how it's going to work, but I don't want to do too many details because issues are going to come up as we go through the mother's pay concept and the family unit concept and everything. And, if you put too many ideas in at the beginning, then there's all sorts of paperwork that's needed to change things. So it's better to get started and see how it happens. But my plan would be, this is an emergency thing, especially with cuts that have been going on. So we need to originally just set up this domestic tranquility department. Then everyone who is a mother and a father needs to make sure that their social security number is up to date with their current address, and you need to attach a bank account to it. And then we will make a payment Now, the amount of pay, I don't know. It'll be a quick one just to get you secure. And then from there, then we can move forward with the real program. Unless, of course, this doesn't happen sooner than later. Then if it happens later, I might have something really concrete, a plan, and then we'll just implement the plan. But I kind of like to get started and see how things going, and in 6 months maybe make some adaptations to it. So yeah, and then also that goes for payments for grandmothers and grandfathers. So if you're a grandmother and grandfather too, you need to also double check your social security number with your address, and you need to give a bank account so that we can do deposits into these bank accounts, because grandmothers and grandfathers get money too. And then extra caregivers. So if you're like an aunt or an uncle who's caring for somebody, let us know. If you are a foster or a step parent, let us know. Adopted parents, all of it. So caregivers, we need to know. So that's the domestic tranquility. And then I saw some things that I needed to report to the FBI, so I made another FBI report this week. Okay, so actually the FBI thing is more, I was there as a candidate, but I don't know, it was sort of me, Susan, reporting it rather than me, the candidate. I wasn't reporting it as a candidate. I was reporting it as a U.S. citizen, because that's what we're supposed to do when we see something, report it. So with that said, I think that's enough for my campaign update, or state of my campaign at the moment. It's going well. I also was just earlier in a sort of training class for how to be a candidate and be a successful candidate. So hopefully it'll work this time. We need the things that I'm bringing, but let's talk about that in the next one. Eventually, or very soon, I'll have information again about how you can donate to my campaign. Maybe I can get a QR code and then you can just make a donation. I used to just take donations from humans, from people, but I think now I will open it up to organizations and also corporations. So ultimately, I guess I have the right to decline money if I want. So let's see. But I have good people around me, and I'd like to also help them out. So it's a little bit less for me and more for them. But ultimately, it's for you, because I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for all of us. So that's how it goes. Okay. This is the end of part 1. I am Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, and I have a website. It is susan4usa.com. That's Susan the number 4, usa.com. Go have a look there, and I'll get back to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel wherever you're seeing me, page, so that you're always getting the latest information about what I'm doing. Okay. Thanks. Have a safe day. The snowstorm. I'll talk about that in the next one.